What's good, YouTube? You're back on S Motorsports. Today we got to replace the battery in the Silverado as it's cold in Wisconsin and this thing doesn't want to start. So today we got to replace the battery on the Silverado as I waited, of course, until it got cold and then found out that the battery is dying and doesn't want to start. It's been cranking slow, and I did take a voltmeter and measure the battery, and it does say it's pretty depleted, and I'll show you that, and then I'll show you what I picked up for a battery. I think it was a pretty good deal, pretty cost effective, and actually the best deal that I found was buying it online, surprisingly, and having it shipped to your door, which is crazy when the battery is 50 pounds. But I'll show you what I picked up, and then I'll show you how to change the battery, as it should be relatively simple. There's a brace in the way and that we got to remove, and we'll go from there. But let's get to it. All right, guys, so first things first, you got to pop open your hood. The battery in, I think, 2014 to 2018 Silverado, 19 I think is the same too, possibly. The battery is located on the passenger side here. As you can see, there's a brace in the way that we're gonna have to pop off to get the battery out. But then I'll show you what I picked up. So I got an AC Delco branded AGM battery. And honestly, this was, what, $159, but then I think I had to pay like 20 bucks to ship it. So like 170, 180 bucks, which is really not that bad of a price for an AGM battery. So I'm pretty happy with that. But let's take a look at a voltmeter reading of our current battery to see what condition it's in. All right, guys, so another quick, easy test is to use your voltmeter or a multimeter if you have one. I have a nice Fluke one here, but you can get, honestly, cheap ones from, you know, wherever, Fleet Farm, Menards, Harbor Freight even. I mean, it's gonna get you in the ballpark at least. This one's pretty accurate, not really needed for what we're doing, but Fluke is a very good brand. So, so what you do is you set it to, this is a DC setting, and you can use it. You touch the negative to the negative, positive to the terminal. And so right now I cycled the key just to see, have the pump run and kind of draw down the battery just a second like you would when you're going to start it. It's at 11.78 volts. That is drained. That's probably like 20-30% charge. So it's time for a new battery. So I'm going to give it a start here and see how it starts, if it even starts at 11.7 volts. So I'm honestly surprised that even started. You could hear that it didn't want to, but I'm gonna measure the voltage again now that the truck is running to make sure that the alternator is charging it up to, you know, 14 volts roughly, to make sure that is working properly as well. So it's charging to 14.9 volts. So the alternator is definitely doing its thing and working. I think the battery is just old and tired. It's almost, you know, 6 years old. It's time for a new one. All right, guys, the first step is to get this brace out of the way. It's 13 millimeter bolts. Let's get this removed. Do not want to touch the positive terminal, as that would arc, so be extra careful. Get that out of the way. So now we can pop this cover off. Jeez, come off. There we go. Okay, now we got this off. What else are we taking off now? I got some extra stuff going on for my stereo in the truck. If you haven't checked out that video, I'll put a link up here to check out that video as well, how I installed that in this truck, as it does have the Bose system and it's a little tricky. But that video should help you along if you're looking to do the same for a 2018 to 19 truck like this. Alright, we're gonna have some 10 millimeters. We're gonna remove the negative as well. Got that loose. Battery is disconnected at least. Gonna remove this guy right here. Now we can pull that off. So I think this guy just snaps in. There we go. It was just really tight in between the overflow tank here. Okay, there is a clip holding that harness in. You gotta pop out. Actually, maybe we don't have to. We can just get this out of the way. There we go. That's all we're looking to do. Get that out of the way. Just gonna use this to tie it up. Just to hold it out of the way. So now the battery hold down is right here, and it looks like it's a 13 millimeter. And now we just gotta loosen that up. There we go. Take the battery hold down out, set it aside. Now the battery should be free, and we're gonna try and wiggle this out. Okay, pretty sure that's not the way you're supposed to take it out, but I just flipped the battery on its side, and then I can pivot it up and take it out. Yeah, it worked. Because hell if I'm removing this. I think you can loosen one bolt right down here if you want and push this out of the way. And then it would go down really easy, but kind of lazy. All right. So like I said, our new battery is an AC Delco AGM, which I think the other one was the original battery, and it was just you know, a normal flooded battery. So this should be a little step up. So let's get this in the same way. I'm gonna tilt it on its side and wiggle it in there. There we go. Now you gotta make sure the battery gets in its little tabs on this side. Here, I'll show you quick what tabs I'm talking about. On there, if you can see it, the battery locks in on a tab on each side. And then the battery hold down is on this side, and that's what keeps it in place. So make sure that it goes back and seats in there and it's in its tabs. So we got the battery positioned in here. Now we got to put the hold down back in. You just put that bolt in the hole. I'm going to start that by hand. Make sure we don't mess up any threads. This back over here, basically just kind of swing this back on and push this guy back down over the battery. Yeah, it just clips into place. I'm gonna slide our connectors back in. There we go. Lift this guy back up. Pretty easy reinstall, I would say. Then we'll tighten that up right away. Connect up the negative. Okay, she's probably gonna spark when you connect. A little bit. There, she tight. All right. We're gonna put our cap back on before we put that brace back in. We don't wanna accidentally touch that. There we go. Now we just gotta throw that brace back in. Gonna get these hands started. Now we'll just tighten those up. All right, guys, that's it. The battery is installed. Let's give it a quick test start to make sure that it starts good. All right, guys, as you saw, she started much better and much quicker with the new battery. So, all right, guys, until next time, thanks for joining in. Peace.